What if your favourite snack wasn't chips or chocolate, but crispy crickets or a juicy lab-grown burger? Sounds crazy. Well, this could be the future of our food. The real question is, are we ready for it? The world is facing a massive food crisis. On one side, millions of people don't have enough to eat. On the other, obesity is rising like never before. Climate change, wars, and economic instability make food harder to produce and more expensive to buy. If we continue like this, experts warn that feeding the growing population will become nearly impossible. Scientists and food experts say we need new solutions, fast. That's where lab-grown meat and edible insects come in. Welcome to the nautical depths. And today, we will dive deep into the future of our food. The global food crisis is intensifying, with an estimated 349 million people across 79 countries currently facing acute food insecurity. Factors such as climate change, conflicts, and inflation are exacerbating this issue. Countries like South Sudan, Burkina Faso, and Mali are experiencing famine conditions, with approximately 1 million people affected. Studies indicate that by 2028, nearly 956 million people could be severely food insecure if current trends continue. According to a recent study by the World Resources Institute, if the global population continues to grow at the current rate, we will need 56% more food to feed 10 billion people by 2050. To address this challenge, alternative food sources like lab-grown meat and edible insects are being explored as sustainable solutions to meet the needs of a growing global population. It might sound like something from a sci-fi movie, but major companies and governments are investing billions into making these ideas a reality. They claim it's the key to saving the planet, feeding billions, and even improving human health. But what exactly are lab-grown meat and edible insects? How can they solve the food problem in the future? Let's find out together. Science behind lab-grown meat. Nearly a century ago, Winston Churchill envisioned a future where we wouldn't need to raise entire animals just to consume specific parts like the breast or wing. Instead, he imagined growing only the parts we need under controlled conditions. Today, that vision is becoming a reality through lab-grown meat, also known as cultured or cultivated meat. In the past decade, this revolutionary technology has taken major strides forward. Scientists have developed ways to grow real meat without the need for slaughtering animals, offering a sustainable alternative to traditional livestock farming. But how does this process work, and why is it being hailed as the future of food? Lab-grown meat isn't a plant-based substitute. It's real meat developed from animal cells. The process starts by taking a small sample of cells from a live animal, often with minimal discomfort. These stem cells, which have the unique ability to transform into different cell types, are then placed in a nutrient-rich solution known as a growth medium. This liquid provides essential proteins, vitamins, and minerals to help the cells multiply and develop into muscle tissue, the primary component of meat. The growing cells are housed inside a bioreactor, a controlled environment that mimics the natural conditions inside an animal's body. Over time, the tissue grows and can be harvested to create familiar meat products like burgers, nuggets, or even steaks. More advanced techniques, such as 3D printing, allow scientists to shape the meat into cuts with the right texture, fat distribution, and structure. Why it matters? Every year, over 100 billion animals are slaughtered for food, with 99% of them raised in factory farms under harsh and inhumane conditions. Lab-grown meat offers a revolutionary alternative. Real meat produced without the need for killing animals, but its benefits extend far beyond just ethics. Traditional livestock farming is responsible for 14% of global greenhouse gas emissions and 37% of methane emissions. It also drives mass deforestation, particularly in the Amazon, to make space for animal feed production. Lab-grown meat, on the other hand, requires significantly less land, water, and resources, making it a far more sustainable option. Health concerns surrounding conventional meat production are another major issue. Factory-farmed animals are often given large doses of antibiotics to prevent disease, contributing to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which pose serious risks to humans. Lab-grown meat eliminates this issue, as it is produced in a sterile, controlled environment without the need for antibiotics. Additionally, the risk of contamination with harmful pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella is greatly reduced. With the global population expected to reach 10 billion by 2050, traditional farming methods may struggle to keep up without causing further environmental destruction. Lab-grown meat provides a scalable, sustainable solution to meet this growing demand while reducing the strain on the planet's natural resources. Of course, there are concerns. Some critics argue that lab-grown meat is too expensive or energy-intensive to produce. While costs were initially high, advancements in technology have significantly lowered production expenses. Studies suggest that if cultivated meat facilities use renewable energy, their carbon footprint could be 92% lower for beef, 52% lower for pork, and 17% lower for chicken compared to conventional meat. Edible insects, a sustainable protein source for the future. For centuries, many cultures across Africa, Asia, and Latin America have embraced insects as a natural part of their diet. Now, as the world faces growing food insecurity, climate change, and rising demand for protein, edible insects are being recognized as a sustainable, nutritious, and environmentally friendly alternative to traditional meat. More than 2,100 insect species are considered edible worldwide, with some of the most commonly consumed including crickets, grasshoppers, mealworms, silkworms, locusts, and black soldier flies. These insects are not only rich in high-quality protein, but they are also packed with essential nutrients like iron, calcium, fiber, and omega-3 fatty acids, making them just as, if not more, nutritious than conventional meat. For instance, crickets contain almost 70% protein, while beef typically has around 25% protein by weight. Additionally, insects require far fewer resources to farm. They produce 80% fewer greenhouse gas emissions, use less land and water, and can be raised on organic waste, significantly reducing environmental impact. Beyond sustainability, edible insects present economic opportunities, particularly for developing nations. Insect farming is affordable, efficient, and requires minimal space, allowing small-scale farmers to generate income while contributing to food security. Countries like Thailand, Mexico, and China already have thriving insect farming industries, supplying markets with products ranging from roasted grasshoppers to cricket protein bars. Moreover, insects can be processed into flour, protein powders, and snacks, making them more palatable to consumers unfamiliar with entomophagy. Despite these benefits, there are challenges in mainstreaming edible insects, especially in Western countries where the idea still faces cultural resistance. However, with growing awareness and the rise of innovative insect-based food products, this perception is gradually shifting. Large companies and startups are now investing in insect-based protein powders, energy bars, and even pasta, signaling a potential future where bugs become a staple on supermarket shelves. Future of lab-grown meat. The global food industry is on the brink of a major transformation, with lab-grown meat and edible insects emerging as promising solutions to tackle food scarcity, environmental degradation, and ethical concerns. The cultivated meat industry has seen rapid advancements in recent years. Since the first lab-grown burger in 2013, which cost over $300,000 to produce, production costs have dropped by 99%. Countries like Singapore have already approved cultivated meat for sale, and experts predict that by 2030, it could reach cost competitiveness with traditional meat. The global meat industry, valued at $1.4 trillion, could be significantly disrupted if cultivated meat captures even 1% of the market, representing a $25 billion industry. Unlike plant-based meat alternatives, lab-grown meat replicates the texture, taste, and nutrition of conventional meat while drastically reducing land, water, and greenhouse gas emissions. Despite the potential of lab-grown meat and edible insects, challenges remain. Consumer acceptance, large-scale production capacity, and cost reduction are critical factors in determining how soon these food sources become mainstream. However, with ongoing technological advancements, supportive policies, and increased investments, over $1.7 billion has been invested in cultivated meat startups since 2020. The future of food could look drastically different. Both lab-grown meat and edible insects offer exciting, sustainable alternatives to our current food systems, promising a future where food production is kinder to the environment and capable of meeting the demands of a rapidly growing population. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. For more videos on emerging technologies and trends, subscribe to Nautical Depths and hit the bell icon to stay updated.